A young black man steps into a courtroom filled with doubt and prejudice, only to leave it as a shining testament to brilliance and resilience. The courtroom buzzed with its usual mixture of anticipation and tension. Judge Harold Beckett, an older man known for his sharp tongue and stern demeanor, presided over the morning's docket with the air of someone who had seen it all. To him, the courtroom was his domain, and he tolerated no disruptions, no audacity, and certainly no challenges to his authority. When Jamal Carter, a 24-year-old black man dressed in a simple gray suit, walked to the defendant's table, Judge Beckett's eyebrows rose slightly. Jamal's youthful face and confident stride seemed out of place in a setting usually occupied by seasoned attorneys and trembling defendants. As Jamal set his briefcase down, the judge leaned forward, peering over his glasses. "Mr. Carter," Judge Beckett began, his voice laced with condescension, "I see you've decided to represent yourself today. Bold choice." Jamal nodded respectfully. "Yes, Your Honor. I've prepared thoroughly for this case." The judge chuckled, a low, dismissive sound that echoed through the room. "Prepared, have you? Well, I hope you realize that law isn't a game of checkers. It requires more than just enthusiasm." A ripple of laughter spread through the courtroom. Jamal's expression remained calm, unflinching. He adjusted his tie and responded, "I understand, Your Honor, and I'm ready." The case was a complicated one. Jamal was charged with trespassing on private property, a crime he firmly denied. The incident occurred at a corporate-owned apartment complex where Jamal had gone to visit a friend. Security claimed he'd refused to leave the premises when asked, but Jamal's version of events painted a very different picture. He argued that the accusations were rooted in racial profiling. As the prosecution presented its case, Judge Beckett glanced at Jamal occasionally, expecting to see the young man squirm under the pressure of legal jargon and aggressive questioning. But Jamal sat poised, taking meticulous notes. When it was Jamal's turn to cross-examine the security guard, he rose confidently. His voice was steady, his questions precise. "Mr. Harris," Jamal began, addressing the guard, "you claim that I was loitering. Can you define loitering as per the municipal code?" The guard hesitated, caught off guard. It's staying somewhere without a purpose." Jamal pulled out a document. "For the record, the municipal code defines loitering as lingering with the intent to commit an unlawful act. Can you confirm whether you witnessed me committing or attempting to commit any unlawful act?" "No," the guard admitted reluctantly. Judge Beckett straightened slightly in his chair. His expression shifted from amused to intrigued. As the trial continued, Jamal's brilliance became undeniable. He cited case law with ease, weaving legal precedents into his arguments. His opening statement had been compelling, but his closing statement was a masterpiece. "Your Honor," Jamal began, his voice resonating with conviction, "this case is about more than a simple trespassing charge. It's about the assumptions we make about people based on their appearance. I was not trespassing, I was visiting a friend. The security guard's actions were not based on my behavior, but on a stereotype that painted me as a threat." He paused, letting his words sink in before continuing. "The law is meant to protect all citizens equally, regardless of their race or socioeconomic status. If we allow these biases to dictate how laws are enforced, we undermine the very foundation of justice." The courtroom was silent. Even Judge Beckett seemed to be holding his breath. When the time came for Judge Beckett to deliver his ruling, he removed his glasses and rubbed his temples. The stern, dismissive demeanor he had worn earlier was replaced by a thoughtful expression. "Mr. Carter," he began, his tone softer than before, "your performance in this courtroom has been remarkable. I confess I misjudged you. It is clear to me now that you possess a deep understanding of the law and a passion for justice that is rare, even among seasoned attorneys." Jamal's eyes widened slightly, but he remained composed. Judge Beckett continued, "The evidence presented has failed to prove beyond a reasonable doubt that you were trespassing. Furthermore, your arguments regarding racial bias in enforcement are compelling and well-founded. I find you not guilty." A murmur of approval spread through the room. Jamal exhaled deeply, relief washing over him. As the courtroom emptied, Judge Beckett called Jamal to the bench. "Mr. Carter," he said, "you have a gift. Have you considered pursuing a career in law? Jamal smiled. Yes, Your Honor. I've been studying for the LSATS. This case was personal, but it also felt like a test of everything I've learned. The judge nodded approvingly. Well, let me give you some advice. Never stop fighting for what's right. The legal system needs people like you. People who see the law not as a weapon, but as a shield. Jamal's smile widened. Thank you, Your Honor. That means a lot. As Jamal left the courtroom, he felt a sense of triumph. He had not only proven his innocence, but also earned the respect of a man who had underestimated him. More importantly, he had taken a step closer to his dream of becoming a lawyer, a dream rooted in the belief that justice should be accessible to everyone. Months later, Jamal received a letter of recommendation from Judge Beckett, who had followed through on his promise to support the young man's aspirations. Jamal went on to attend law school, earning his degree and eventually becoming a powerful advocate for civil rights. His first case as a licensed attorney, a class action lawsuit challenging systemic racial profiling, a fight he was more than prepared to win.